Gervonta Tank Davis accused of glove tampering. Glovegate number 2. Knuckleheads, welcome to the Fighters Rep, where we give you free fights, interviews, and fight commentary from the mind of a promoter. Listen, I'm a human being, a respectful one, and I'm also an attorney. And I take accusations and evidence extremely seriously before I cast judgment on anybody about anything, because I believe in the golden rule and I wouldn't want it done to me. Here we have another situation, no doubt stemming from the negative energy and scapegoating that was Glovegate Part 1 between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Here we have another situation where we have a professional, fantastic, undefeated fighter getting a knockout, and instead of being rewarded for what was, I believe, the knockout of 2020, an otherwise abysmal and depressing year, instead of being praised and respected, now we've got a young man in Gervonta Tank Davis who came up from squalor and is making something of himself. Now we got this man being implicated in another goofy glove controversy that is so disrespectful and so delusional that it forces you to admit, and it forces you to understand that it came from these same dummies, this same group of negative, jealous, low self-esteem people that watched Tyson Fury win and had to scapegoat him because they just couldn't take the hit to their extremely fragile ego. Now, I'm hoping this gets nipped in the bud, because it looks like video evidence has surfaced that shows that Tank Davis switched out the gloves. He says they were uncomfortable on his hands, so he switched them out backstage, and that's what this whole debacle is about. People are saying, oh, the gloves he had on backstage were different than the ones he had on in the ring. But his explanation, which seems to stand true based on video evidence, is that he switched the gloves because they were uncomfortable. They were signed off on by the commission and by Leo Santa Cruz. And isn't it ironic that the same kind of thing happened in the Fury fight, sans the switching of the gloves, right? Because Tyson Fury didn't switch the gloves. The gloves were placed on him in the presence of the commission and in the presence of the other team. If you believe Gervonta Tank Davis, you must believe Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. And if you don't, you are biased. You are not an objective observer. You are not an objective boxing fan. And you are a poison to this sport and to the careers of these young men who are trying to put food on the table for their families. This controversy stems from the other one. This is the perpetuation of that negative energy and that scapegoating, and I find it embarrassing. I find it sad. I find it pathetic, and I believe it to be an indication and a reflection of a society filled with people with an extremely low self-esteem and an inability to process a loss and to hold themselves accountable and responsible. Gervonta Tank Davis did not cheat. Tyson Fury did not cheat. It's time to look at things objectively. It's time to understand that in order to come to a conclusion that could have that kind of impact on somebody's life, you need to have sufficient evidence to do so the same way they do in a court of law. Knuckleheads, tell me what you think. Do you think Gervonta Tank Davis was really tampering with his gloves or messing with his gloves? Do you think there's anything to this story? I certainly don't. Or do you agree with me that this is ridiculous and has gotten out of hand, and these crabs in a bucket and their negative energy is spilling over into other guys' careers now? If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation, the most educated, sophisticated, intellectual fight community in the world. By doing so and by purchasing your Fighter's Rep gear in the link below, you help me continue to build this channel and the only kickboxing promotion that matters, where we give young men and women the opportunity to compete in a promotion based on integrity. So please subscribe. Do what you can. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Have a great one.